Top five.
Top five. Kyle? Top five. All right. This is easily my favorite segment just because there's always like a good, healthy debate. Always a good, healthy debate.
I love this segment.
I think you started off last week, if I'm not mistaken.
You know what's crazy is I would show you, but I can't. But I wrote my top 5 4 different times because I could not figure out how I wanted it to look.
This one was tough. This one was tough.
I'll let you start.
Yeah, I rearranged some. I will say I rearranged my top 5. It's not a huge change. It is not a huge change. So number 5
put a dog shit in the chat. Put a dog shit in the chat for Rick. Not changing his top 5, not bringing new content. Put a dog shit in the chat.
My number 5, Kyle. Are you ready for this? You're going to be so mad. You're going to be so goddamn mad. It's the Chiefs at number 5. Even after a loss on Monday Night Football, I still have the Chiefs with the second best or tied for the best record in the AFC. Still atop their division. Still number 2 in seeding in the playoffs. I still have the Chiefs at number 5. Marquez Valdes-Scantling catches that ball. The Chiefs are what? 8-2? 8-2?
No, then the Eagles come on the field and we and we get to watch.
They've been coming on the field. If Scantling catches that ball, we're singing a different tune about the Chiefs, not necessarily about the Eagles.
Need the tissue.
But let me just
for the Eagles. Apparently they've been coming on the field.
They've been coming. So I've got the Chiefs at number 5.
All right, at number 5, I have the Baltimore Ravens. I think the Ravens. I think the Ravens are playing good football right now. I think they're the number 1 seed in the AFC, right?
Yep.
I do think that the way the top 5 works out is the NFC has probably a lot of my top 5 teams in it, but after that, it drops to like 15 and below. The AFC is like mostly AFC teams between 15 and 5, and only one team from the AFC actually even squeaks in my top 5, and I'll give you a hint.
High.
It's the Ravens.
You're fucking high. At number 4 for me, they just came away with a former players' team's victory. The Lions are my number 4 team in my top 5. They got their ass kicked by the Ravens, and ever since then, they have been better. Jared Goff did not have his best game against the Bears, but he had his best 4.5 minutes when it mattered because the Bears did not put the pedal to the metal and they let the Lions win. And the Lions took advantage. David Montgomery rushed for the game-winning touchdown. They had a strip sack of Justin Fields that went into the back of the end zone for a safety. That's exactly what you need to do when you're a team that's leading the division and you're going up against a division opponent, dude. You have to take those wins where you can get them. And in the clutch, the Lions were able to do so. That's why the Lions are number 4.
All right. At number 4, I got the Dallas Cowboys. I think the margin of victory that we're seeing from the Cowboys against lesser teams is really impressive to me. And I'm really looking forward to the challenges that Dallas is about to face. I think their next 4 teams are going to be really tough. So the beating up on the bad teams is over. And I think it's time for Dallas to prove to the world why they're at my number 4 spot.
All right. And I got the Cowboys at actually number 3 for my top 5. Again, you talked about them beating the bad teams. I've talked about them going 4-1 since that bad loss to the 49ers. Their defense has been really, really good. Dak has not thrown more than like 2 interceptions, I think, in a game. And so far he's kept it under double digits so far through week 11. You saw CeeDee Lamb, what he did for 3 games in a 3-game stretch. I think over 150 yards and a touchdown, something like that. Whatever I had said a couple weeks ago, this offense is clicking, man. And their defense, we talked about, what was his name? Laron. No. It was, where is he? Deron Bland. 4 pick sixes this season. Their defense is humming, dude. And Micah Parsons with 2.5 sacks that game. That's why the Cowboys are my number 3.
No problem with that. Number 3, I got the Philadelphia Eagles. I thought the Eagles looked good today. They beat up Kansas City. Not really. They actually barely won, and it came down to a drop pass. But ultimately, I don't think the Chiefs are that good. And I had the Eagles at number 1. But what I really wanted to see the Eagles do tonight was separate themselves from the Chiefs, and they weren't able to do that. And to me, it actually told me a lot more about the Eagles than it did the Chiefs. The Eagles dropped from 1 all the way to number 3. It's just where I'm at right now at this particular moment in time.
My number 2, I've got the AFC leading Ravens at number 2. Praise the purple, as I always say. This is the first time I've said that. Praise the purple. Lamar Jackson and this Ravens team is looking good in the run game. Lamar Jackson is doing just enough in the pass game. He doesn't have to do much when Gus Edwards is rushing for 2 touchdowns in the goal line stands. This defense is being super dominant, led by Roquan Smith, one of the leaders on that defense after just being traded there last year. He's become one of the leaders on defense. He's talking after post games. He is leading them in tackles. He's just kind of doing it all for them. And the Ravens, again, atop the AFC conference with an 8-3 record, just beat a division rival in the Bengals. Yes, it was without Joe Burrow, but again, what can you do? Joe Burrow was out of the game. What can you do? Ravens, my number 2.
Damn, dude. I guess that means we have the same number 1.
I don't think so.
All right, well then we'll go to number 2. I got the Detroit Lions.
Oh my God, you're high.
I'm gonna tell you why, and I knew that you were gonna struggle with this. The reason why is because every time I see Dan Campbell, I just believe that he is the kind of coach that I was talking about, like AP, like his players will fight for him.
Yeah.
And that roster they're like the Eagles top to bottom. And the last 2 games, Detroit has looked not that great, right? I mean, they got in a shootout and, needed their offense to win last week. But they won the game, and they used to lose those kinds of games. This week, their defense steps up when they need them to, and they win a game they shouldn't have won. So, I really, really value a team that can be imperfect and find a way to win. Like when your bad day at the office doesn't even result in a loss, that is a team to be scared of, in my opinion. I think when the Lions are playing their best football, there's only one team that can really play with them at this point.
And it is my number 1. It's the Eagles, because the Eagles are coming out, and yes, they barely won against the Chiefs. Their only loss has been a Jets game that was very perplexing. But you're talking about a 1-loss team in week 11, 9-1. The Eagles, again, we talked about how slow they came out this first half against the Chiefs. They made the adjustment in the second half. They came out with the dub. That's what they've been doing all season, man. We talk about how the Eagles are not who they were last year. They're coming out with wins regardless. And in the playoffs, with the amount of talent they have, if you can squeeze out wins, that's probably the most important part. It doesn't matter how you do it in the playoffs. What matters is that you get to the Super Bowl and you're able to get those dubs. That's why I got the Eagles at number 1.
All right. So I do got the top 5 rolling on the bottom. That is my top 5, and that is Rick's top 5. So thank you guys for tuning in.
Got the Broncos as number 1 for me. Get the fuck out of here.
Thank you guys for tuning in to our top 5. Rick,
Trash.
Love your picks, man. I think the Ravens at 2, whatever, but the Broncos at number 1, that's going to be an interesting one. We'll see how it unfolds when they play Cleveland, who was your number 1 2 weeks ago. So this is going to be a really, really good week for everybody.
God's quite literally high.
Yeah, no denying that. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. Top 5.
Top 5, no debating. Top 5.